Elon Musk and Tesla have faced backlash this year for Musk's cost-cutting efforts at the Department of Government Efficiency. Speaking with David Faber, CNBC's David Faber, yesterday, Musk attributed Tesla's recent sales decline to a need to retool the company's manufacturing process.
We did a massive global retooling of all the factory lines for the Model Y, which is it's a majority of our vehicle sales is the Model Y. And the Model Y is the best-selling car on Earth. Really, the best indicator of the forward value of the company is the share price, the market cap, and that's very strong right now.
Join us now on Tesla, Elon Musk, and much more. Tim Higgins, Wall Street Journal business columnist and a CNBC contributor. Tim, it's good to see you. Do you think that Elon was hesitant to say, yeah, my work with DOGE and my closeness to President Trump, that's not what it was? It was really just, sort of retrofitting the manufacturing that caused some of the downdraft. Is he just won't admit that part of it might be that?
It seems like it, right? Especially in the past, he's talked about how there are sides out there who are against Tesla because of his politics. I mean, it seems like the math is equaling that. But hey, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Without a doubt, the factory changeovers is always an issue for a car maker when they go through that. But typically, a lot of car makers, especially in the U.S., they plan for those things. And the market, I don't necessarily think, was expecting the effect that we saw, right? So clearly, there are people out there who perhaps were Tesla supporters, Tesla buyers, who have pulled back. And that's without a doubt. I'm in San Francisco. You see those bumper stickers on Teslas that says, I bought this before Elon went crazy.
Well, if there's stickers that say, I used to be blind and now I can see because of Neuralink, he's an amazing guy. And the stuff that he's accomplishing is so beyond the pale. Can he move beyond this phase in terms of public opinion? And I mean, he's got certain people that love him that didn't used to love him, but a lot of people that used to love him don't love him now. Can he have everyone love him again at some point, Tim?
It's hard to imagine that everybody's going to love him again just because he's so divisive on all sorts of different subjects. But I think you hit at this very kind of core of it. One of his powers is that he inspires a lot of people to think about the future that is possible, that sci-fi excitement, whether it's traveling to Mars or fixing real human issues such as being paralyzed with Neuralink. So these are very exciting things, and he's spending his time trying to do it. And when you get back to Tesla and what he is doing now, really kind of this interview was so interesting. It was almost talking about a reset. If he's putting the kind of the on-off button on kind of the Tesla experience for the year, because he's telegraphing to the investor that he's back. There's a huge challenge ahead that could change kind of the conversation about the company, and that is the rollout of the driverless cars, of Robotaxis. This is a game changer potentially for Tesla if he can execute, if he can pull it off.
It is science fiction, and then all of a sudden you read some of it's already happening, which is crazy with Neuralink and some of the thought control. But the latest thing with almost going around the eyes and having some other receptor even superior to the eye, that's sending signals to the visual cortex or whatever it is where you see sight, that could actually be superior to the eye. And obviously this is probably, we won't live to see something like that, Tim. Maybe you will. But this kind of stuff, it's way out in the future. But that's where I'm thinking 50 years from now, Elon Musk might be back to, Thomas Edison. Just 100% of the people.
Absolutely. These kinds of advances are perhaps what his legacy, most likely what his legacy will be if he's able to achieve them, without a doubt. The book isn't written on his entire career. Will this be a subchapter of politics? Perhaps, especially if Tesla is deploying humanoid robots, as he talks about them being the biggest product out there. If we all have our own R2-D2, absolutely. The question and the challenge for Elon Musk for the past few years on some of this stuff is implementing, is executing. Yeah. He's talked about driverless cars for a very long time. Now is going to be the time to see if he can do it.
Well, rubber meets the road, and then you just would say, well, what would you rather have? Someone that said, nah, we're never going to be able to do that. Or I'm going to do it 2 years before it actually happens. Probably you want the dreamer and the person that exaggerates more than the person that says it can never happen, I guess.
Well, you hit on this interesting point here. Tesla, in a lot of ways, what he has done is he's got a startup mentality here. He is betting the company on this kind of technology. There's not a huge lineup of vehicles in the pipeline that we know about. The product is stale, if you will. Yes, the Model Y is getting something of a refresh, but there's not a hot new vehicle that we're expecting that really could move the metal like we've seen if they are not successful with driverless car technology.
Tim, my real question about this is the 10 cars that he rolls out, and then the 20 and the 30 and the 40 in whatever sort of successive order this goes. Do you think it's going to be a glide path, or do you think that we're going to learn, there'll be headlines throughout, and that we're going to be sort of grappling with how their ride-hailing technology works relative to Waymo? I mean, how does that? What is your sense of how this will actually go in practice?
I would imagine somewhat messy. If you look at how these programs have launched in the past, they're slow. It's complicated. What we've learned from watching Waymo, the Alphabet's driverless car taxi program that is operational, that is taking paid customers in places like San Francisco, Los Angeles, Austin, 10 million paid rides. What we've seen from them is it's a huge operational lift. It's not like putting a Roomba out into the world to go do its business. There's the cleaning of the vehicles, there's the charging of the vehicles, there's the operation behind to make sure that they are working. If they run into issues in the real world, people have to deal with those. It's super complex. And that's the kind of thing that I'm interested to see how Tesla is going to be addressing.